Hello there and welcome to my channel. I'm your host Mehani Wahid and you are listening to Nutrition Bites. This is the fourth episode where we are going to talk about clinical conditions and nutrition. And I thought who else would be better to answer these questions than a clinical dietitian. That is why I have invited dietitian Tanhiyat Farheen. She did her MS and is currently working as a consultant at a hospital. So let's welcome her to the podcast. Good morning dietitian. Thank you for being here today.
A very beautiful morning to you, Hani, and to the people watching the podcast.
Yes, thank you. But before we start the discussion, let the audience know what is meant by clinical conditions and what all comes under it.
Yeah, I must say this is indeed a good beginning. So to start with, as you all know, clinical is something to deal with the disease conditions, be it a simple topic of obesity. It ranges from diabetes, kidney failure diseases, heart ailments, inborn errors of metabolism, certain neurological conditions, autoimmune diseases. In a word, they are together termed as clinical diseases, and experts dealing with these medics are termed as clinicians.
Great. So now we know what are these conditions. So let's move on with the Q&As. The first question we received regarding diabetes was, what can I eat if I have diabetes?
It is not what you eat is important here. Rather, focus on how much you eat, because we've got types of diabetes, wherein some are dependent on insulin, whereas some others are oral drug dependent. Also, it depends on your insulin sensitivity. Hence, always prepare food from all the groups. For an example, if I say grains, dals, veggies, milk and its products, nuts, and non-vegetarian in moderation. Also remember to cut down on all simple starches as in maida, sugar and all your sugary drinks.
Yes, because their high fructose content has been linked to insulin resistance and an increased risk of obesity, fatty liver and other diseases. Okay, the next question is, do I need to follow a low carb diet?
Yes, carbs in the range of moderate to low are advisable here. Focus on the intake of complex carbohydrates like wheat, jowar, bajra, oats. We Indians also have an advantage over others, as the foods which I listed above are generally our staples. Include vegetables in the form of salads so that you can retain the fiber, which will help to curb your hunger pangs.
Okay, what if it is sugar free? Can I eat as much as I want, right?
Not actually, dear. We see many ads wherein they say stevia, sucralose are advisable, and I would say yes for that. But hold on. Before that, because research says too much consumption of sweeteners has faulty and long-term effects on our kidneys. And as far as the limitations are taken into account, I would say add a little in your tea or coffee sometimes and then gradually abstain. Occasionally taking it for your sweet cravings does no harm. But then I repeat, it is just occasional.
Yes. Also, we shouldn't just trust any sugar-free fruits because now the supermarkets are full of things that appear to be diabetes friendly because they don't have added sugar, but they may have sugar substitutes that contain carbs. That means they have the potential to send your blood sugar levels to soaring. That is why before you put something in your cart, check the nutrition facts to see how many grams of carbs and in each serving and how much sugar is added. Okay, the next question is, what's the link between smoking and heart disease?
Smoking, it is one of the risk factors for heart ailments. Also, passive smoking puts a person on an equal risk. There are n number of studies and also stated by the American Heart Association as a risk factor. What it actually does is, it builds up something called plaque, which over time develops atherosclerosis, leading to myocardial infarction, which is commonly termed as heart attack.
Oh, that's quite the link. Fine, here's the next question. Is it true that occasionally following a fasting diet can reduce my risk of heart disease?
Fasting diet, or you say intermittent fasting to be precise enough, is recommended for people who are overweight or obese or in certain conditions where the person is not having any control over his sugar levels. So basically, if you have any of these, you are equally at risk of developing heart problems over time. Hence, I would recommend you follow that, but under expert advice, as it may also lead to hypoglycemia for sugar patients at times.
Okay, the next one. What dietary changes can I make to reduce my heart disease risk?
Okay, for that I can say you must follow a heart healthy diet where you focus on the food groups and quantity that you consume with special emphasis on grains, low fat dairy, lean meats. Lean meats, when I say all the white meats like your chicken or your fish, your fresh fishes, nuts, fruits, and vegetables, so that you get ample of antioxidants, omega 3 and omega 6 fatty acids, which are termed as essential fats.
Oh, yes, a healthy diet for a healthy living. Never go out to eat if I have kidney diseases.
I actually don't want to be a food police here, but there are many food restrictions if a person is dealing with failing kidneys. He or she has to maintain good fluid and mineral restrictions, as in salt predominantly. Hence, it's a no to eating out because most of the food available in the market has high sodium content.
Okay, there. Do I need to watch how much fluid I drink?
Basically, there are two conditions. One is acute, the other is chronic. So, fluid restriction depends on your condition. I mean, which condition you are dealing with. Like, if a person has waste buildup due to non availability of enough fluid, then a liberal fluid is also recommended at times. But for a progressive kidney failure, fluid restriction is a must to prevent further deterioration.
Do I need to be on a special diet?
I would rather call it as a therapeutic diet in which restriction of minerals is a must. Otherwise, it is also called as a renal diet if you are precise enough.
Okay, will dialysis cause me lose weight?
You lose protein here and also some carbohydrates during every session of your dialysis, which eventually will lead to loss of lean body mass and subsequently the body weight.
Yes, and here goes an interesting one. Can I still drink pop, energy drinks, alcoholic beverages?
Yeah, as I told you before, fluid restriction is must for progressive renal failure. Hence, it's a no. And on the contrary, they're loaded with sugars and carbonates, which are nothing but salt, also rendering a person with mere empty calories.
Yes, and now it ends here. Thank you, Dietitian Tehniyat, for joining us and answering all the queries.
Thank you, Hani, for inviting me. It was a great session, and I hope I was able to do justice on my part.
Yes, thank you so much. I'm pretty sure we have covered most of them. And if you guys have more questions on diabetes, heart disease, kidney disease, or anything, or you think we haven't answered your question, you can DM me on Instagram at Healthified Choices. We'll wrap up here and we'll meet you all next week with some other topic. Make sure you tune in next time by subscribing to my podcast. It will be on all streaming platforms. You can just say, "Hey Google" or "Hey Alexa, play on my Hani Wahid podcast." And make sure you follow me on Instagram at Healthified Choices. If you haven't checked out yet, my podcast videos are already up on YouTube. Thank you for tuning in. Until next time, stay healthy.